Thank you for agreeing to do this. I have to conduct this interview specifically about your career for a portfolio project as part of my undergraduate degree. Can you please tell me a little bit about your current position?
I'm a clinical information systems specialist, and that is a liaison between the clinical staff at the hospital that I work at and the technology staff. I find out what works well for the clinical departments, and then I go back and make changes in the computer system to work for their workflow.
Okay, so could you describe a typical workday for me?
When I get there, I initially check my emails and what's called our ISR system, our Internet Service Request, to look for any issues or problems that departments may be having with their computer application and address those right away. After I've addressed any initial problems, then I have a work list that I have projects that I am doing for each department, and I go through the projects and try to add those to the computer system to make the workflow easier for the end user. And then in between that, we have continuous upgrades to the computer system, much like your Windows application, how they have updates. We have updates for each computer system that we work on. So in between that, we do testing on a test system and then apply that to a production system for the different applications.
Oh, okay. So what skills would you say that your job requires?
I have a clinical background, which is essential for this position. You have to know the clinical aspect of it to be most beneficial. And then really I had basic computer experience, proficient with Microsoft Office products, and other familiarity with systems that I have worked with in the past to help me bridge that gap into the computer IS specialist role that I'm in now.
What parts of your job do you find most challenging?
I think the very technical parts that the users are having with the computer, as far as servers, the Citrix world, I'm unfamiliar with that extreme technical aspect, and I have to rely on others. When I ask them, I try to work with the experts in that area so I can be a little bit more familiar. So if the problem happens again, at least I have a basic understanding of it, and at least I can find the right person to help with the project. So that's probably the hardest part for me.
And when you say users, you mean like nurses and hospital staff in the ER?
Correct. The emergency department and the operating room I work with.
Okay. What parts of your job do you find most enjoyable?
I like the networking. I work, as I said, with the emergency department and the operating room staff, so I have to work with the providers and nurses. And I work with, because our hospital has several computer applications that all work together, I have to work with each individual department to make sure all the computer systems are communicating, and I get to work with a variety of different technical and clinical people.
You went on to continue your education after your 4-year undergrad degree, right?
Correct. While I was working, I went and got my Master's of Science at Lemoyne College.
Okay, so what educational preparation would you recommend for someone who wants to attend a secondary school? Like, what did you do to prepare yourself?
Initially, I just tried to do well in my undergraduate degree. I tried to complete the courses and, just try to make sure that I performed them and studied. And then I did some practice for GREs to get accepted into school. So I did some practice sessions with the GREs.
Did you take the GREs?
I did.
Well, in school, how did you learn about career opportunities? How were you informed about them?
I initially did an internship while I was in school at the hospital that I'm currently working in. And while I was doing that, I got to meet several people, and just the experience interacting with everyone really helped me learn about more opportunities just right in that hospital. And then after I joined the hospital, then you start networking with other individuals and you learn about other opportunities outside that immediate hospital.
So networking. So for students today, what do you think the best form of networking is?
Well, there's a lot more options now. There's computer sites. I think they serve a purpose, but I also think you just need to stay involved in school with your classes and ancillary programs. I was in honor society of our nursing school, so being involved in the honor society, I was able to communicate with other professionals in the area and learn what was available, things that I didn't even think of as an opportunity when I was in college or in the beginning of college became more apparent to me. And just being aware of certain things is the most important benefit of that.
Like being aware of certain positions?
Correct. Certain positions in the hospital, for instance, the position I'm in now, that was nothing that I had planned for initially, and it was a great experience to know about all the different avenues that nursing provided.
So because you work so closely with the computer, how do you feel about professional networking sites such as LinkedIn?
I definitely think LinkedIn is a great serves a great preliminary purpose. I think it's great to have a base profile, and I think students or other professionals should be on that, but I don't think people should rely solely on computer sites because that depersonalizes people. I think the face-to-face interaction really is ideal, and it really gets your name out there, and it just opens you up to more opportunities.
So would you suggest maybe meeting with somebody that you met through LinkedIn, or how would you suggest to do those face-to-face interactions?
Well, I think just staying involved in everything that you're doing currently, staying involved in school, staying involved in school programs. I think doing internships. While you're doing internships, you branch out to meet other individuals. I think just being involved in everything you do, staying, that's really the basis for networking, just staying involved with every aspect of your job and personal life.
Okay, so lastly, what did you do in college that helped you most succeed? I mean, you talked about your networking. Were there any classes or anything like that that really helped you with that networking or with your communication skills, anything like that?
I think I took a variety of different courses that made my experience a little more well-rounded. Because I was in a nursing program, I did not have to take a lot of computer-based skills, but I took that. I knew that would be essential for the future, and that has proven to be very helpful for me. So my course load, first of all, has helped. Staying involved with my professors and the different individuals that I met in school, that helped me. Being on our honor society and networking with other individuals in the honor society, maintaining good grades, and lastly doing the internship that wasn't required, but an internship that really helped me meet other individuals and just kind of broaden my experience. It kind of helped, it did push my education a little bit further. Hands-on experience was really beneficial to me.
Okay, so as I've briefly told you, I'm looking to go to law school and hoping to become a lawyer. But I mean, right now I'm focusing on getting into the secondary school and the process of that. So do you have any suggestions for me? Because I know you went on to get your master's.
I think as I've been saying throughout this interview, stay active, continue to do well in school, continue to stay active in school programs, hobbies that you want to do. Stay or become as well-rounded as you can, because the more experience you have in different avenues, whether you volunteer for something, it just really helps going forward. It makes you more marketable for school. Just good grades is not enough. You just have to be a well-rounded individual.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.